episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of everything to do with Disney travel in style. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bellabraddock.
And I'm Amelia Bellabraddock. And today, a buying guide for all-over print clothing.
Yes, what you need to know before you buy all-over print clothing. Now,
Or don't buy all-over print clothing.
You know, it's interesting because there's a lot of fashion stories going around saying there's a resurgence in all-over print clothing, and if you're not familiar with that term, it just means clothing with patterns all over it. Now, I didn't really think it ever went away,
it's a flash trend. It'll go back away.
But there's always fully printed dresses and things like that, right? There's always been and there always will be. So maybe I don't know.
There's always most types of clothing available. It's just what is
top selling at a
what
time?
Is on the runways, what are the stores pumping out the most of, stuff like that. A lot of the times people subconsciously follow the fashion trends because it's just what's available at most retailers, but it sort of depends on what you like in certain cases, because if you don't like prints, you're not going to follow this one.
Yeah, and we sell, of course, lots of graphic tees. That's how we started, but we do all over prints as well. Mostly on things like swimwear and dresses, not so much on hoodies or sweatshirts, right? I don't really see those lending to all over print in the same way that a dress would, or swim trunks or a swimsuit, those sorts of things.
Yeah, I think it depends on the type of clothes and the type of print for those different clothes, because when you're saying all over print, there's a couple different things that can mean.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to get into that exact point. But first, let's start about why they're popular, or why they exist, whether or not you agree they're super popular right now. Really, they stand out differently, right? It's a totally different look than just a plain colored item or an item with sort of geometric patterns like a sash or something like on our one-piece swimsuit we did recently. But they just have a different look and feel to them altogether than your average t-shirt or things like that.
It depends what you consider a print.
So in the apparel industry, all over print has a specific description. So let's talk about exactly what it is, because it's something I want you to look for. So this is the tip for anyone today who's buying online. Like anything else, there are good ones and not so good ones. People who care about details and places that don't care or don't know. So an all-over print pattern in garment and apparel terms is, if you think of a tiled wall, the way they work is one tile is created, but it's created with a seamless edge that's repeatable. And I don't mean seams like when you see seamless, it doesn't mean the clothes don't have seams, right? All clothes are going to have seams because they're because they're stitched together. But a seamless all-over print pattern is one tile that is repeated over and over again, and where they connect, they blend perfectly because they're made to line up, so they just continue to repeat infinitely, really, but on a shirt or a dress or something, they just go all the way around, and it looks like one pattern.
Yeah, instead of, in certain cases, it's a little bit more choppy when the pattern shifts from the top piece to the bottom piece of a dress. Or if you're mixing, different patterns like top and skirt, stuff like that, obviously less seamless.
Or, and this is what I wanted to get into, this is my tip if you're shopping, when you see these printed all over print designs, AI, just like everywhere else, has had a proliferation of AI print designers. So hand designers obviously are getting upset about that because AI can do it instantly. But most AI seamless tile creators aren't very good. And what I mean is when you try to line them up, they don't exactly line up. So I want you to pay attention when you're buying an all-over print pattern somewhere. Look closely to be sure it actually is seamless. They actually do line up. Now, we take great pains in ensuring that high detail to everything we produce, right? So anything you buy at 1923mainstreet.com, all over print or otherwise, we take care to ensure, would we be happy with this? If we wouldn't buy it, obviously we're not going to sell it. But not everybody's like that. So that is something to definitely look for to make sure you don't see any seams. It just looks smooth all the way across, because I'm telling you, They're not always like that. And in the design process, there are subtle designs and there are big print designs. And, they have different impacts and different styles and colors. So, for example, I know, Amelia, you don't love all over prints with large impact things. Let's talk about a Hawaiian shirt as a good example, right? That's big, bold, colorful, big print.
Okay, I don't mind all over prints on dresses or on one part of an outfit. I personally don't enjoy the mix and match of all over prints. It's not my personal style,
So are you talking about, for example, let's say a skater dress where the top is one and the bottom's something different? Or what do you mean?
Well, it depends what you mean by that. Like if I were to walk around in a Hawaiian shirt and then a gingham skirt.
Okay, yeah, that's different. So now you're talking about ensembles.
Yeah, but some people enjoy that. It's just not my thing. It bugs me. It really, really bugs me. And the more that patterns are in, the more that you see that because it's sort of a trend. The different pattern on pattern has gone in and out of style throughout the different fashion eras. Personally, it's one of my fashion pet peeves. But I mean, again, if you like it, do your thing. Fashion is a very individual thing. It's just not what I enjoy.
Yeah, and all over prints, they can be bright and bold, but they can also be, some of the ones I like, and we're going to do more of this on dresses in particular, are the really subtle, like the toile design, where you don't actually see the pattern that clearly until you're sort of closer to it, right? It's like a duotone or a monotone, almost like a toile, like a old style faint design over the dress.
I enjoy those.
Yeah, as opposed to bright, bold, and there's people for both. And I think the bright, bold ones are the trendier ones.
I'm not trying to be like ignore the term, a sad beige mom. Like I like color, I like patterns, I just like cohesiveness within an outfit.
Yeah, and just because it's all over print, even within that, there's symmetrical ones and asymmetrical ones.
Yeah.
And they can be jarring to the eye and unattractive. We don't put anything like that out, right? We test all our designs with people before they hit the shop. It's not just randomly things appear.
And it also depends on the colors in the print. I just think with this resurgence of patterns all over print, because like you said, the AI can now just pump these out. So many sites have all of these thousands of different print options
the problem.
That are, interesting color palette wise and just different things like that I'm personally not on board with. I just think I'm not against all over prints, but if you're going for an all over print, there is still a way to, make it classic and elegant and nice if that's sort of more your style. It doesn't have to be plain colors all the time or crazy mismatch of everything. There can be a middle ground, which is what I personally try to find.
Yeah, and when we design things, that's the point with these AI. Not only are there most of them, because I always check what's new. I'm a techie by nature, so I love these platforms to see what's cool, which one works, which one doesn't. I'd say 90% of them do not work well. But most people or many shops are just putting these things out anyway. There's two ways to make clothes. If you make this tile, as I was describing, and you put the tile on, a site, any one of these sites like Redbubble or something, and just tell it to tile, well, if your tile's bad, then the pattern is not going to, there's going to be tiny little white seams that appear. So people are just randomly throwing these things out. We do not do that. In fact, all our designs, as you know, are inspired by the magic in one way or another. So they're related to something, right? We pick things that have a relation to something to do with Disney magic or otherwise magical. And therefore, there's a theme to all we do. I mean, anyone could put out 100 a day of just random. Let's put out 100 pineapple patterns. That's overwhelming and there's no meaning to that.
But you know what? I think that's another good thing about all over prints here. As I found something, they're very nice for theming an outfit. Like if you're going to a specific event or if there's, lots of different schools or colleges or things like that have themed days, especially if you're going to the Disney parks, depends on the park, depends on the ride, the dinner, whatever. You can a lot of the time theme these all over prints or match the color scheme. So something like that is really nice to add to an outfit to sort of bring it up to match whatever you're doing.
And even all over prints, floral is a common one you see, or those
Yeah.
twirl designs. But also, I mean, let's say Disney, for example, when they make shirts, let's say it was Mickey Mouse, all over, up and down, all different, that's still an all over print, even though it's just Mickey Mouse on a white background.
Oh,
let's
that's
say.
an all over print.
Yeah, that's an all over print. But you still have to be sure that anywhere that Mickey crosses the edge of that seam, that it's repeatable on a tile. So the other edge of the seam has the other half of Mickey sort of thing. So that when you put them like tiles on a wall, it just looks like it's all originally one gigantic, huge image.
I mean, I don't even know if Disney does that all the time.
Yeah, they're pretty good at it because I have a lot of Disney. Now, we don't infringe on trademarks, so we would never produce a Mickey Mouse all over print here. We would do something inspired by it if we wanted to, but I do have a lot of Disney ones like that in button-up shirts, which also work well with all over
I think
prints.
their button-ups, they do match. I don't know if they always do it with the t-shirts. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I have to check.
Do you like all over print t-shirts?
Personally, no.
Like we have a few for, what we do them on right now is
I think
there's a camo one, animal prints, things like that are okay on t-shirt all over prints. That's as far as we've gone so far at 1923 Main Street. We may venture out later, but we prefer them on button-up shirts, dresses, and swimwear, skirts, those sorts of things.
I don't know. I tend to be like a more, not plain, but just simpler outfit so that I can accessorize more with, coats, shoes, hats, bags, necklaces, and jewelry. So for me, the very pattern and bold outfit choices are not the way that I go.
Actually, another one that's popular that we do are yoga leggings. Now, I know you prefer solid color leggings or minimal design leggings, but a lot of people, especially seasonal ones, Christmas,
I was going to say
Halloween.
it's seasonal and it's also trendy. Like in the mid 2010s, those were a big thing. Give it a couple years, those will be coming right back around in the rotation of fashions. It kind of depends on where fashion is as a cycle, what the Oliver prints are on, but usually you can find some part of the fashion industry where Oliver prints are prevalent, and even if they're not, if you enjoy them, if you like theming an outfit, go for it.
So there you go. We just wanted to talk a little bit about Oliver prints and the design process, the different styles. Think about it a little bit more because there is so much out there as a result of AI that you really want to be discriminating and aware when you spend your money. So look for those seams and make sure there aren't any. Look to make sure that this is going to last, or if it's seasonal and you're okay with that, you wear it once a year, that's cool too, right?
Yeah.
Just think about it a bit more because not all over prints are created equals is the bottom line here. So the more aware you are, the better way, you're going to be more informed to spend your money.
And I just needed to get a good rant in because I've been watching lots of 2000s television lately, and the mix and match of all over prints that was popular in the late 2000s was just...
Yes, I have
Just
not
something.
seen that popular right now, at least not on purpose.
Please,
So,
let's not make that come back. Like,
another reason...
you know what? If you like it, do it. Just not for me.
Another reason people like them is because if you have a graphic t-shirt and let's say it's a graphic on your chest and people stare at your chest to read it, people don't like that. When you're wearing an all-over print, it's not, you're not going to run into that sort of effect where someone's trying to read what's on your
That's
shirt.
fair.
So it's just a different
see
option
that.
for your wardrobe. So they serve their purpose. We like to play around with Oliver prints. We do them thoughtfully. And we'll be adding more to the shop again, mostly on swimwear, leggings, and dresses, sorts of things. So check it out. Hey, if you want to see something, give us a design inspiration idea, and we'll see what we can come up with in the creative end. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. As always, follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. We'll see you again next week, and have a magical day.
Bye-bye.